Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It's time for me to review The Circle. Episode 1 of The Circle did what it did. It had to introduce us to the people, get the ratings, get, to see their pictures, first impressions. Okay, that ain't all that exciting. Episode 2 through 4, I watched in one sitting because it gave me all the drama and the mess that I need from a show like The Circle. I'm going to try to review each episode at a time because I just don't want this review to be extremely long. But this was a good episode. These were some good. I'm ready for April. What is it? April 21st. Hurry up. Hurry it up. So we left off episode 1 with Terralisha and Savannah having to save one person each on the spot. Terralisha saves Emily and Savannah saves Trevor. So Terralisha in her mind is thinking, why is Savannah saving Trevor? We supposed to be girl gang. So I forgot last week, because in my mind I was thinking the same thing. I forgot last week. I fast forward through that conversation about them. He's a single dad and her mom was a single mom. So they built a friendship over that. Anyway, Chloe calls Savannah a little bitch. I'm trying to review my notes as if I haven't watched all the episodes. But I was here for Chloe calling her little bitch. This whole Savannah not saving Chloe is the setup for the entire rest of the next 3 episodes. Like, it's Savannah versus Chloe, Savannah versus Terralisha. It's all this moment right here of who do you save. And I like when The Circle throws things out like that because it causes people to really think about stuff, because people are telling you who they're for and who they're against, about who they save and who they don't save, and all these little corny ass games. All of that is telling to me. So Chloe, I like up until episode 4, I still in my mind dislike Chloe. So I'm trying to put my mind back into the place of when I disliked her. Let's get into it. Chloe, I like Chloe for calling shit out. Because the setup of The Circle is, in the chats is where you talk that fake shit. And then in your room, you talk the hot shit. I personally vibe with the people who can talk the hot shit in the chat. Chloe wants to know, she chats Emily, she want to know, why did Savannah, if we supposed to be girl gang, why did she save Trevor over me? Like, what Chloe really want to know is, you think Savannah is in with my man? Because that's my man. And my eyes are rolling. I'm like, girl, this is not your man. Why would you even want a man who, 1, lives in the United States and you live all the way over there in the UK, and then 2, he got a whole 1-year-old. You 21 years old. You ain't ready to be nobody's stepmama. And then you can't even hug him, kiss him, cuddle him, nothing, because you in a whole separate apartment. I just wish, my nose is itching. I wish the flirt would be taken out of the game, which I kind of feel like it will be, because let's get into it before I jump too far ahead. Ultimately, Emily says she don't know. And I'm over Emily because everything Emily says is politically correct, but everything Jack says is the good hot shit. I wish he would let Emily talk in the chats. So Chloe is like, okay, well, let's just ask Savannah herself. And so I was here for that too. Like, why are you asking Emily? Go straight to the source. So Chloe brings, I got to get everybody's names, Savannah into the group chat with Emily and just straight up ask her, why did you choose Trevor over me? So Savannah says she had a connection with Trevor. She had a private conversation with him. They connected on a deeper level. And so that's why she chose Trevor over Chloe. I feel like, Savannah, that was a mistake. You can have all the private conversations you want. You still, if you got this whole girl gang thing going, you still should have picked Chloe, and then you're the influencer. I don't think Terralisha would have voted out Trevor. So, because she had already said she wanted to keep Trevor around for the drama of it all. So, I feel like you should have saved Chloe and let Trevor be in there in the red circle. But anyway, it was her save. Chloe says some fake shit. She says she understands, and she just wants Savannah to know, you can always count on me. Like, if you ever want to have a little girl time, a little girl chat, I love girly stuff. You can count on me. Savannah in her room saying, I don't believe that. This is lies. She lying. She mad at me. And so then Savannah says something about, I got your back. And Chloe was like, you full of shit. Both of them now don't really trust each other, but they're playing along with this girl gang thing. So let's get over to Terralisha and Bryant have a private conversation, a private chat. He says, cool teacher saved my life. He said, I'm also a yogi and a vegan or a vegetarian, whatever. So they got stuff in common. Terralisha was like, I'll play along. You know, we do have that in common, and he does like teachers. And I think, I ain't write it down in my notes, Bryant broke down that, was he depressed? He overdosed on, was he overweight, bulimic, and then he overdosed on those pills. I can't think of the name of the pills. Some kind of pills that stimulate your metabolism. I don't want to tell all my business, but them pills, I know what he's talking about. Them pills, you used to go to a little doctor. They just open up a little clinic, and you could get them pills, and they help you lost a ton of weight. Oh, you lost a ton of weight with them pills. And it was a real doctor, but it wasn't like your real doctor. And their whole thing was to come in there and get money. I used to take those pills back in my 20s. So this probably was different than Bryant because I'm way older than him. It's easy to overdose on those things because I would take them. One, you can't sleep. I would be woke, I would say, for 22 of the 24 hours. And I would get like maybe 2 hours of sleep, and I would have to really force myself to go to sleep. So I would say for like 6 days a week, I would be up 22 hours, and I would just be, can't sit still. Then, I'm going off topic. Then, like on a Saturday or Sunday, my body would completely crash, and I would probably sleep 20 hours of the day. It would have you so messed up. And I wouldn't really call it an overdose, but I would pass out all the time because if you drunk anything with caffeine, like coffee, pop, anything with an ounce of caffeine in it, it would send your head to swirling, and you would just pass out because now you're overly stimulated. So I don't went off subject, but the whole point of it was he felt like he told Terralisha some of his true tea. Terralisha was like, oh, well, he opened up to me, so maybe we could be friends. It wasn't no real connection. It was just kind of like, let me tell you a little bit of my personal business so we can connect. Moving on. They have to play this thing called the Poetry Slam. It was very corny to me. I'm just going to go through the poems. First up was Courtney. He picked to write his poem about Savannah. It was all an ass kiss to Savannah. Savannah, I want to be your ally. Savannah, I want to be your friend. If you save me, I'll bake you a cake. And I was just like, C-. C-. One, you gave up too much tea. You wanted to be the ally. You shouldn't have said all that. But everybody gave him 3 A's and a B because we can all grade each other's poems. Up next is Chloe. Chloe's poem sounded like a rap, and it was straight trash. It was all trash. Hers was about Terralisha. She got 3 A's and a B too, but I gave her an F. I said half of this don't rhyme. It doesn't make sense. No man. No man, but the young people liked it. And they should like it because half of the rapping stuff they rap about now don't be talking about nothing either. So up next was River. River, I said, you're showing your age, Lee. Lee, you're showing your 58. He wrote this Shakespearean type of poem, which was great. Like, his was more of a poem, but it was boring. It was talking about being a servant to Savannah. It was talking about him being so heartbroken over his ex and that the circle has cheered him up. And I was like, C minus, D plus. Like, I didn't like it, but he got an A, 2 B's, and a C. I think Savannah gave him a C because she said, oh, if the poem was supposed to be about me, it wasn't about me. You talking about your ex. You talking about the circle. And I was like, narcissist? Much? You think a lot about yourself? Anyway, last and definitely least was Bryant. I said, no, sir. I don't know what he was talking about. His poem was about Savannah. And this is where Savannah got on my nerve. He got 3 C's and a B. I gave him an F because I was like, I don't know what Bryant was talking about. He was talking about Savannah, Banna, Americana, Savannah. I said, no, no, sir. No, sir. I don't like Savannah because she was like, oh, they ain't really talking about me. This is supposed to be my poem. It just sounds like he trying to kiss my ass. And I'm like, that's exactly what the other two were doing, was exactly what Courtney did. And then out of the 4 poems, 3 people dedicated it to you. So that should already tell you that they care a little bit more about you than Terralisha because they writing the poem to you. But oh, not Savannah. They ain't talk about her enough. Anyway, Courtney and Savannah talk and they bond over, 1, both being messy. 2, they both love Cassie. And I'm like, really? Y'all bonding over the one-hit wonder? That song, It's Just Me and You. That's their new hashtag. And I'm like, ugh. Like, yeah, that song was hot in the 2000s. Was that even the 2000s? It was hot in the 2000s. But Cassie, of all the 2000s R&B, Cassie is who y'all love, who didn't get enough credit. She shouldn't have even been out there. Like, if it wasn't for Diddy, she wouldn't have had a chance. But let's move on. Did Diddy put her out or did he just date her? I don't know. I ain't no Cassie fan. River and Terralisha have a conversation. I'm like, why don't people see that River is the catfish? He talking to her about something, about his heartbreak, and he looking for Terralisha to help her through it. And I'm like, you just said in your poem that the circle cured your heartbreak, but now you're still heartbroken and can't trust nobody. And he said something about JFTF. And I was like, what the fuck is that too? And he was like, well, I don't want to make it sound like I invented it. I'm going to make it sound like she just don't know. And so now they have a little brother, big sister vibe. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet. But no, ma'am. No, ma'am. This shit is fake. Moving on. Chloe's bored, so she flirts with Trevor. But guess what? It's time for the blocking. And when they get upstairs to block, the whole time, this is before all the mess goes down. I'm hoping Terralisha and, what is her name? Savannah can be on the same page. Because I like them as an alliance. But, Up first is Courtney. Courtney is a threat to Terralisha. Why? Like, Terralisha, this is where you went wrong. You showed your cards too early. You really don't know Savannah like that. I feel like the first block, and y'all end up blocking his ass anyway. Brian is at the bottom. He blocked. It's point blank period. It's easy. Brian ain't really your friend like that, Terralisha. You didn't have to show your cards with Courtney. Like, you don't even know this person, but he's a threat. You don't even know who he's connected with, and you telling all this tea to his best friend in the house. That was your fault, Terralisha. Now we get up to River, and Savannah wants to save River. I don't think, no. What is the child? It's too many. Terralisha wants to save River. And, you know, Savannah did what Courtney, too many names. Savannah did what Terralisha should have did when it came to Courtney. Savannah said, look, I don't have a problem saving River if we could save Courtney. Like, you save one, I save another. Ultimately, you said yes, Terralisha, so let it go. So Courtney and River are both safe. So now it comes to Chloe. Now Savannah wants to be girl gang. She want to be gang, 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 gang. And I'm like, well, wait, you the bitch that ain't saved Chloe in the first place. Like, if you wanted Chloe to be safe, you should have saved her up front and had Trevor down here in the conversation. But oh no. Really, Savannah don't want to save Chloe. Savannah just doesn't want to be the bitch who doesn't save Chloe. She wants to keep up the front of the girl gang. Savannah doesn't want to be the first one, and she doesn't want to lose Emily as a number, because if she votes out Chloe, then, especially after she just had that conversation with Emily and Chloe, Emily's going to be gone. At this moment in time, this is before I saw the hot shit go on in a few future episodes, I'm like, I would have voted Chloe ass out. Let her go. She ain't even supposed to be here. Tell her to go on the Circle UK and let's be done. But, you know, Terralisha is also girl gang. She recognizes the bullshit that Savannah is talking, but Terralisha isn't going to let go of Chloe either, because Chloe is a number for her. So ultimately, the only person that's left is Bryant. I'm going to get into the hot talk with Bryant when it comes up. But Bryant is the only person that's left. Really, Terralisha wants to save Bryant because Bryant is a number for her. But Chloe is also a number for you. So I don't know why she put up any fight for Bryant. Like I said, it would have been easy. It would have been, Bryant is last, Bryant can go. And neither one of you would have had to show your cards, and you still could have been numbers for each other. And that's it. At the end of the episode, Bryant gets to go visit someone. He goes to visit River. Fast forward through they cry fest, and let's move on to episode 3. Like, comment, share. I'll be right back.